Welcome to Keep What You Earn, a show for entrepreneurs and business owners who want to scale and build enterprise value without making costly mistakes. I'm your host, Shannon Weinstein. I'm a CFO and CPA who left a career serving Fortune 50 companies in Wall Street to help business owners just like you make life-changing wealth with your business. These episodes are meant to be super tactical and actionable, but please remember, consult your own financial professional before you implement anything you learn in this podcast. Now, if you'd be interested in working with us to do so, check out the show notes for more information about our company, Keep What You Earn Co. All right, let's start the show. So a lot of business owners say they want to scale, but they aren't really clear on what it will take to get to those next levels, whether it be getting to your first million in annual revenue or getting to 5 million, 10 million and beyond. And what I don't think people realize is the type of owner you have to become in order to succeed at each of those levels. It truly is a question of, well, what got you here won't get you there. And there are a lot of evolutions in business, some more rapid than others, but I really want to call out the role of the founder or the owner at these different levels in your business, because it will change, it will evolve. And if you get too comfortable in one of these roles, you might stay stuck at that level. And by all means, if your goal isn't to grow your revenue, if your goal isn't to scale your business, that is perfectly okay. And that is acceptable. But for those who are hungry for more, what they may not realize is that a lot of what gets you there is what is in your head and what you're doing and how you're spending the minutes of your day. Not just the big macro moves that you're making in revenue, but what you're becoming as an owner, as a founder. First of all, your founder journey, your owner journey is really important. To go from 0 to 1 million, you're basically still doing everything. You're still at the helm. You're still running the show. You're still directing a lot of the details. And that's perfectly okay. Really what you want to be doing from like the 1 to 5 million is you want to be building your team and your systems. Now, you ideally want to be building your team and your systems within your first million, but this is really when they come into play and when you start relying on your team and your systems in order to function for you. This is crucial because in order to get past, we'll say, a $3 to $5 million kind of stronghold, a little bit of a bottleneck, in order to break past that, which is where a lot of our businesses are that come and work with us, we're helping them let go of the execution, focus on direction, and become the type of owner that manages a team and manages a business, not is the business. Okay, so it's really changing your identity and evolving it from, let's say, I run a, multi-million-dollar e-commerce company to I am the president of a multi-million-dollar or a founder of or whatever, or investor in. It's like me, instead of saying I'm a fractional CFO, I say, well, I own a fractional CFO firm. And identifying as that owner as opposed to the doer. And your job description at $10 million and beyond is going to look very different. You're going to be responsible for vision, long-term planning, communicating that vision, very important. You're going to be responsible for fostering strategic relationships, fostering culture, and reaffirming the values of your business. You're also going to be focused on capital allocation, resource allocation. That's really what you should be doing in your role. And I can relate to this because this is something I'm kind of stepping into. And I think it starts when you start hiring really capable people in positions in your company that can take on a lot of the execution of the work. Once you start doing that, you can start opening yourself up to more of that visionary thinking. But you will get stuck if you stay too involved. You will get stuck if you anchor yourself back down to that level where you're getting involved in the sales too much, getting involved in the product or the delivery and the little minutia. Now, there's conflicting advice out there. And admittedly, I realize I'm going to be conflicting in saying this. While I am a big advocate for getting out of the weeds and away from the decimal point, I also think that there's a bit of magic, a bit of this like untouchable advantage that you have when you are willing, but you don't need to get involved in those details. So when you are willing to show up and do the little things, the little details that matter, when you are willing to give a customer a call to apologize for something that happened personally, when you are willing to go to a customer in person and deliver their product, When you're willing to do those things and you have the capacity to do that, I think you're winning. However, if you feel like you have to do that and that is part of your job description on a daily basis, I don't think that's healthy at a certain point in your business. I think that if you want to reach 10 million and beyond, you need to step out of that role.
Hey, did you know that you can actually see my face and watch this episode on YouTube? If you're not already subscribed to our YouTube channel, make sure you head over there and you subscribe and check out all of the guest episodes along with some of my solos. We're posting every single week on YouTube. See you there.
Now, okay, Shan, that makes sense. How do I do that? How do I actually step into that? Like, all this makes sense to me, but like, I still feel stuck. I still feel like I'm in the details every day. It's bogging me down. How do I get the hell out of it? Okay, like, this is really hard for me personally to do. This is advice I was given, and I'm going to pass it along to you and just tell you, along with this asterisk, I am also struggling with doing this too, because I am in this evolution. So, how to evolve from this is you have to block your calendar or do whatever accountability tool you need. For me, it's Asana. For you, it might be your calendar to block your time for strategy and not just meetings. Like, actually block off that time and make sure that you are focused in that time on a specific strategic objective, and use your dashboards for oversight. Ask for less metrics. I know. I actually just had this conversation with Abby, who's editing this episode right now. And we had a conversation on metrics that I will need as an executive. We talked about executive level communication. And as she's going through the marketing content and going through all the stuff that we put out there as a Keep What You Earn brand, there are very few things that I care about and connect to. And what's important is that she knows what I care about and how I see the results of these activities generating our progress towards our goals. So at the end of the day, I don't really care what my Instagram follower count is. I really don't care like the exact download numbers of every single episode. Now, she's consuming that information. Awesome. But she will tell me from that what I need to know. You know, what are the things that I can enable? What are the things that I should be focused on? What are the lessons I can extract from that data that she can pass on to me? That's what we're going for. And that's what I would challenge you to do, is get out of the day-to-day in terms of reading all of these metrics, but just going, hey, there are 3 to 4 things I'm focused on this quarter. I just want to know how we're progressing toward those and what I can be doing differently, or what I should be doing more of, the same as, like, what should I keep doing? What should I stop doing? And what should I add to my plate? What should I be doing differently? And that is going to help you a ton. And I would say for every major role in your company, you need to be having a plan B. So, like, I hate to be like the pessimistic one, but you have to have a plan B of, if this person quits, what do we do? If this person is no longer capable, what do we do? And that includes you. It's scary, but that includes you. What happens if you are incapacitated? What is the emergency exit plan, right, in the hotel? What is that thing on the wall that's like, in case of fire, this is what we do? You need to have that. No matter the stage of the business you're in, you have to have an idea of what happens and be building your business so that you have a secure route for it to succeed without you. And that is always the goal. Whether you're selling or whether something happens, you want to be ready for that. And you really have to get out of that operator role and move into the designer, the architect, from doing all the work to ideating and thinking and generating that vision. And you are really moving into that role of guiding your team, guiding your customers, guiding everyone into, this is the vision I have for this company. This is how we're going to get there. And here's what each of you are going to contribute. And it's a team effort. Number one, it's collaborative. Number two, it has to be communicated clearly and repeatedly over and over and over again. And that's primarily your job as the owner. So when you're thinking about scaling, I want you to take this with you as a piece of guidance on, you know, this is really what it takes to get there. This is what your job will become if you want to get to that level. And it's perfectly okay if you don't want to do that, but you have to be willing to be honest with yourself and decide if it's right for you.
As you think about growing and scaling your business, it's important to focus on how your operating costs align with your profit and personal goals. Are you allocating your resources wisely? Are your expenses supporting growth, or are they holding you back? Building a sustainable and profitable business takes intentional budgeting and regular assessments of where your money's actually going. Now, with a power session, you can get personalized strategies to help your businesses thrive. Check out the show notes for more information on power sessions and how we can work with you to create the profit plan your business needs for a successful 2025.